Hi, Chris. It's so lovely to see you. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm really keen to chat to you this morning on a variety of topics, including you as a leader in your personal capacity, but also you as an industry expert and sort of head of ops, the ops director and strategic catering lead for OCS Group UK. Amazing title. Obviously, you're very, very involved in a variety of things. So thanks so much for making time today to chat.
No problem. Thank you, Lauren. Thanks for having me.
Oh, now we were laughing the other day and sort of saying, you know, each year has a word. So 2020 was definitely Zoom. I think 2021 was probably you're on mute. But 2022 is definitely change. I think I've heard the word change once, I've heard it a million times. And obviously, as you know, ops director and strategic catering lead, you're at the forefront of a lot of change and you're managing a lot of change every day. And I just wondered, you know, with everything that food service is seeing and all the changes being experienced presently, but also for the future, what is it that you're seeing? How are customers, their expectations, how is that changing? What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, a very interesting question. I wish I had all the exact answers, but hey, let's talk about now and what we're doing with the sort of portfolio that we've got and also sort of capturing the future. So, of course, yes, been a very, very challenging few years. We are in the sort of background of that moving forward. Most of our clientele is sort of back in the work premises, with the caveats of obviously different styles of working pattern weeks, which we may touch base on in a while. But we're for sure seeing you know, things getting back to sort of the word normality. It's very an interesting word as well to put on. Will it ever be like what it used to be? I think people have caught up with working slightly differently. Certainly a lot of our client and portfolio is working less hours actually at the workplace. So we're still seeing trends of the 3-day working pattern. Some clients are sort of doing different things. And what I mean by that is some clients are expecting their customers to come in at least 3 days a week. Some clients are doing 70% working at the office environment. We have some clients that are literally being a bit more relaxed and sort of come to the office as you want. And we actually do have some clients that are 100% back to work, you know, full stop, Monday to Friday, as a business. Of course, we are seeing less traveling, air travel. And so we are starting to see a bit more of a demand in our sort of hospitality, fine dining events, where people are doing and hosting things actually at site level rather than sort of air travel. So certainly in the last sort of 4 or 5 months, some of our sort of sustainable businesses that we've had for quite some time seem to be doing more client entertaining at site level, where they may be going into hotels or retail establishments. They're having it more based in the site level, which is great for us, and being able to obviously observe those patterns. But yes, I mean, we are seeing a trend. We kind of liaising with clients all the time, but there was initial conversations that prior to Easter this year, 2022, sort of the comeback would be where it would be. Haven't quite seen that. Obviously, we're just about to come into summer months now with holiday season, so it's another sort of generally a quieter period in the next couple of months. But I am sort of enthused to hear and speak to clients around sort of the bounce back again coming in around September for the last quarter, and starting to see real change and people coming back. But it is been a steady growth, which I think sort of answers your business question. And of course, you know, like any organisation, when it comes to sort of actual planning, menu planning, ordering, managing clearly food waste, which is a key target of OCSs, like most organisations, we are sort of engaging with our on-site services. So if we're running our security within our TFM type portfolio, we're getting things like daily head counts and numbers. So we're trying to manage our menus and recipes and sort of food production in accordance to that. If we're not doing the security ourselves and we're using a third party or one of our colleagues' businesses, then again, we are sort of engaging a lot more to get numbers on site. So this allows our menu production within our facilities to be more accurate. And again, looking at our menus, i.e. more sort of batch cooking and cooking to order, rather than maybe previously where we were guaranteed numbers on sites in our client portfolios, where we were kind of doing more bulk type cooking. We have changed our menus accordingly, and it seems to be working. Obviously, we're managing food waste as a paramount day in, day out anyway, and we're trying to obviously actively continue our targets.
Gosh, absolutely. Lots of change going on. And obviously, like you say, in the workplace and with the workforce, that is huge change. And I think something that hasn't yet settled, and many argue won't go back to what it was pre-pandemic, which, I mean, some argue is a good thing, some argue is a bad thing. But from a suppose, workforce and workplace design perspective, that's also been a massive conversational topic, how businesses are redesigning their workspaces. Have you seen any of that? Sort of what trends are you seeing?
Yeah, you're right, Lauren. I mean, we're seeing sort of agile working, hot desk type environments sort of being built and designed within our client sites. Basically, where quite a few of our clients were, you'd have a desk, you'd have an area that would be yours. Use it as and when. We're finding that is changing, where the typical sort of screens, keyboard, and mouse on a desk ready to go are not there any longer. They're more bring a laptop, hover around hot desk spacing or agile working areas. Again, in some of our portfolios, we're seeing some of our restaurants, our bigger restaurants, being redesigned. So our bigger restaurants don't need to be so big any longer because we don't have the head count. So we're seeing sort of soft servicing type areas, chilled out, relaxed areas, and even sort of in some of our businesses, even things like new funky beanbag type areas where people can just literally clouch around, get on their laptop and do it. And I think the world of technology has changed the mentality of people, that actually you can sit around comfortably and do work rather than formally on a desk at the end of the day. So yeah, we are seeing those changes happen.
Phenomenal. And I suppose the other thing is, the pandemic has, there have been good and bad things, but some of the good is that it has created a bit more of a focus on things that initially pre-pandemic may have been on the peripheral. So things like sustainability, nutrition, that whole mental well-being, resilience, but also that social purpose. And I wonder what you're seeing out there. How has that impacted on the workforce and the workplace? And what are your clients looking for?
Yeah, it's a really good, interesting subject. I mean, OCS was had already pre-COVID was working very heavily around mental awareness, well-being. We look after a number of trusts up and down the UK. So we actually have a lot of trained staff within OCS that are aware of mental awareness and can train and develop, which is great to tell people. But yet that continues to be quite a strength. Links into obviously well-being, and again within OCS's business, we've actually stepped up as an organisation in the last 2 years. Awareness with posters, campaigns, webinars, which is fully accessible to every single employee within OCS, which is again a real good stepping stone. But also we actually open that up to all of our clients can get involved in those campaigns and webinars, which is fantastic. And again, in our top sort of conversations around the COVID and the awareness of well-being, looking after people, everyone's had a tough time. This is something that's really high on people's agendas. So whether we have monthly reviews with our clients, quarterly, 6 monthly, etc., well-being, sustainability are at there. So that's kind of the well-being part, but absolutely driving that, and we'll continue to drive that. On the sustainability side of it, again, most organisations are fully aware about the sort of single-use plastics. We're focusing on the single-use materials at the moment, as well as plastics. But also what can we do to reinvent our production? Again, we don't want people to take away food, whether it be again in a recyclable paper green material. However, you know, we would much rather than use the facility and use a more sustainable product. Again, links in with our actual food and food on a plate. So, you know, we as an organisation are also moving towards and being very successful in the whole plant-based produce. Looking at carbon within our menus. We're just literally moving towards a new software system that will have our carbon footprint labelling as well. It's something that OCS want to sort of be hopefully in the sort of world of advanced technology. So we've partnered with a company that are just in final testing scenarios, linked in with all our suppliers and all of our supply chain through our recipe and management. It will churn out our CO2 emissions, which we're really excited about doing. We're just literally finishing off trials, and we're going to then launch it in a couple of sites to gain feedback. Again, with all the allergens and Natasha's law and calories that have just come in, it is a bit of an overload on information to customers potentially, but we absolutely see it's something that people are going to be more and more interested in. Again, like a lot of organisations, OCS has signed up to net zero targets, and as a business and organisation, this is stuff that we've got to and want to deliver and want to be on the forefront of that for our customers. So taking them on a journey. And certainly the feedback that we've had from showing and demonstrating some of the things we're working on is being well received.
Gosh, I'm sure. It's very, very true that a lot of sort of customer desires and expectations have changed substantially, and that the employee or customer experience is very much sort of at the forefront of everyone's thinking. I suppose, and some are also nicely focused on how important food service is with getting people back into the office and engaging with the consumer, with the employee again. Are you seeing any other trends in sort of that area for the future? Is there anything else we should be looking out for?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a lot of things in the last sort of 6 months to do, as you say, Lauren, be engaging and getting people back. So, you know, some of the clients have wanted to take a bit more initiative on water, giving free water bottles out to people, giving free fruit out. Some clients have given loyalty vouchers and sort of subsidised vouchers to be able to eat cheaper than they would normally be able to. Of course, that probably links in a little bit with inflation, and everything is costing a little bit more out there, as we all know. So some clients have taken that role, and that has seen people come back into the office place and using the facilities a little bit more, which is encouraging. I think going forward, I think there will be much more focus, as you've already mentioned, on the questioning around well-being and sustainability. I think these are topical areas that customers and clients want to know more about, and you know, if they're partnering with contractors like OCS as an example, it is something that we as a business need to be in tune with and to deliver, you know, positivity, but also clear messages to people. And of course, where we're sharing things internally within our organisation, the great thing is we can obviously at virtually no cost share those ideas with our clients, which is fantastic.
Absolutely. It is, it's redefining partnership, isn't it? To be actively and engaged with the business and the partners to create a solution together, which I think is one of the positives that have come out of a lot of chaos, a lot of chaos. And Chris, I mean, obviously you're a fantastic leader, and I wanted to also talk to you as a leader. I mean, you know, EP, we're very passionate about showing talent that leaders are real people, they have real journeys, and that leadership is aspirational, but it's also attainable. And I wondered, sort of your career path, how did you start? What has been your journey?
Well, you're going to show my age now, aren't you? So,
no, not at all.
No, I mean, I've been very fortunate in my career path so far. I'm mid-40s ish, but yeah, I mean, I did 3 years at college. Didn't know really what I wanted to do, so I did a 1-year college course at Brooklands Technology College in Weybridge. It's quite well known for the sort of catering world, and that has got a good rep. I then loved it so much. I did a 2-year course. I did 3 years at college, and within that, I did a workplace placement for a well-known catering contractor, and ended up basically working for them as a part-time chef. Moved up the ladder, finished my college courses, went straight in to work for that contractor, and loved it. And that contractor company, couldn't fault them. They invested a lot of time with me on various young management courses, sending me off to various different areas of their business to learn more skills. And that kind of got me the buzz of the food and the chefing role. I've said it many times, I kind of did a number of chefing roles and moved up to sort of, sous chef, head chef, chef manager. And then when I sort of was at the management sort of decisions, I decided that I wanted to go into the management tree. And I always sort of say to people, there's a bit of a tree. Do you want to stay on the food culinary side of things, or do you want to go into the management side of things? So I decided to go into the management things, and eventually, obviously, through a number of positions, worked myself sort of upwards, becoming a catering manager, a general manager, an area manager. I did an area manager for quite a period of my career, but obviously the growth of that area gained over years. And then I worked for a small contracting catering company, of which OCS then merged, bought, acquired. And then I joined OCS some 15 years ago. And again, OCS as it currently stands, I came in as a caterer. And now at this present day, not only do I look after quite a lot of catering businesses that are my own in my operations director head on, obviously with my background, skill and experience, I ended up looking after the catering for the UK business as a bit of a strategic, where are we to where we want to be. A lot of hard work has been given in those sort of years of my career, and I've, of course, I would say I've been lucky. I've been in the right place at the right time. I've had some fantastic people look after me and teach me. So if anyone's watching, thank you in advance who do know me. But I have done some college webinars to students that are looking to come into the catering organisation and the industry. And I would say absolutely, give it a go, try it. If you kind of like food and drink, it's the place to be. I've met some wonderful people. I've met some fantastic opportunities that I've either been involved in or I've actually been able to do. And again, if you decide eventually that you want to go into either the management side of it or potentially facilities, there's a huge amount of organisations out there, let alone obviously the one I'm working for. And it is a great industry to work in. And what I will say is, if you've got a bit of personality and a bit of character, the whole of the industry is face focusing. It is about that personality. It is about that liaising with people, whether you're back of house, front of house. And I really love being around people, and to show that personality and that we can do sort of attitude, I think is really important, and part of to be successful as well at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It is one industry where you are allowed to have a personality, which is really refreshing. And as a leader, sort of what keeps you up at night? What are you worried about? But also, what helps you sleep on both of those, which, hopefully it's two different things.
Yeah, I mean, I've been asked this question before, and I think if I answer truthfully, I think it's a kind of age and experience thing as well. So in my younger youth, when I had quite a lot of responsibility at quite a young age, finance and P&Ls and getting things right probably kept me up at night. I think at the end of the day, as you grow older and maybe more experienced and more knowledgeable, you have to, as you go up the ladder, you obviously have people under you that can manage that and help and support that. So it's making sure those people aren't having sleepless nights. which is important. So I guess, yeah, I haven't really had many sleepless nights because of work, but I think, you know, as you get older, you get wiser. Tomorrow's always another day. I've always had the attitude about, even if you're ahead of the game, go that extra mile the day you can, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So I've always taken that extra sort of, you know, work a little bit harder that night before, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think from a what else sort of I think about and want to kind of develop, it's really about, you know, developing on how we can improve. So not only myself personally, but my team around me. You know, I have currently in my role, I have a fantastic hardworking team. You know, I'm only a single person point of contact, but I have a very hardworking team. So those traits that I've learned and trained myself in, I try and pass that on to people. You know, we mentioned about flair and passion. I think, you know, this industry is quite a hard industry. It's generally long hours. It is quite demanding, but you do get a real good passion and a real buzz about when something goes right, or feedback, whatever it may be. But measuring success is, of course, what it's all about at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And if you were able to, what would you say to your 18-year-old self?
Oh, gosh. I don't think I would probably change that much. Again, sounds like I'm really old, but I've always sort of said, you know, work hard, and I do mean that in every sense, but play harder. So when I was at college, I used to be a fairly big party animal. You know, I would go out and enjoy my nights out with friends and be partying quite heavily. And I enjoyed that side of it. But I think you've got to know where you stand at the end of the day. If you want to be successful, if you want to be recognised, if you want to obviously drive your career, you need to put the work in, and you need to, you know, you need to understand that. But I do think, going back to what I was saying a bit earlier, I think the industry is desperate to see new blood, new people coming into it. And, you know, I would be an advocate of, you know, demonstrating and showing people my career path in more detail. You know, I wasn't, like a lot of young people, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. When I left school, I got a few grades. I wasn't the most brainiest person in the world. I had a good few grades, but I still didn't know really what I wanted to do. Doing 1 year at a college, 1 year probably might sound a lot to some people, but 12 months is not a lot of time. And that really steered me into, yes, this is something that I really wanted to explore. So I did another 2 years through work placement. As I said, it kind of got me into the industry, and that's what set me up to be, you know, kind of where I am, and still have the passion for what I do every day today.
Absolutely. And final question, looking at the industry, I know we're in a roller coaster ride at the moment, but every roller coaster ride comes to an end. What are your thoughts on the future? Are you optimistic? I know, like I say, we've got a way to go, but we're a resilient industry if we are nothing. What are your thoughts for the future? How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I think you used the word challenging. I think we are still in a challenging you know, time. You know, some of the challenges that we have now as an organisation is, you know, people coming back to work, obviously maintaining that that service, that quality, understanding what our clients are doing. That's one aspect. At this moment in time, inflation is having quite a, you know, effect on food prices. You know, how we talk to clients, how we manage that, how we engineer our menus of food. Obviously, we've got the sustainability arm, so plant-based food, vegan food, allergens, you know, abiding by a lot more knowledge out there than ever before on what people are eating, and making sure that people understand where food comes from, you know, where our sustainable sources are. And I think generally those are the things that I see being more of, probably certainly for the next couple of years. Of course, I think, you know, heaven forbid that we have another setback, then obviously we'll end up much more knowledgeable. as an industry on how we can manage ourselves and manage our teams, and we've been here once or twice or three times before. So, but obviously on a positive spin, let's hope we're not. And I do think January next year is going to be another milestone pitch. I think this year, where we are at the moment, being coming into August, I think next year is going to be, again, dare I say, get this year over and done with and focus on next year with some of those clear measures. But food inflation, food service, deliverance of engaging with our clients is all very much where we are at this moment in time, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. Chris, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and your insights and your inspiration. Really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me. And it's great to talk to you, Lauren. No worries at all. Thank you.
See you soon.
Thank you very much.